Hi everyone, I'm here today. We're going to talk about color mixing and color theory. Um, I hear all the time, I get a lot of questions on my videos sometimes about how do you keep from making mud. People say, oh, I love your colors, the way you use your colors. How do you keep them so clean? So we're going to go over that today and just give you some basic information on using your color wheel. And if you want mud, I'm going to show you how to get mud if you need a pretty gray or a pretty brown. But otherwise, I'm going to hopefully help you stay away from that in your pours. Okay, so here we go. We have our color wheel here. I got this at Michael's. It was about $10, but it will be invaluable to you, especially if you're going to be doing this a lot. And you're kind of new to color mixing and color pouring. Sorry, I'm trying to get that in there where it looks good. Okay, so here's your basic color wheel. Your primary colors are going to be your blue, yellow, and red. And they're called primary colors because you cannot get them by mixing other colors together. So they stand alone. That's why they're called primary. If you mix those colors with other primary colors, you're going to get red, yellow, and blue. So if you mix blue and yellow, you're going to get green. Okay, and so that's why your wheel comes in handy, because it tells you that. If you mix blue and red, you're going to get violet, and red and yellow make orange. So that's pretty much the basic. I think most of us learned that in school a long time ago, but just a refresher on it. Also, your colors in between those colors are going to be your tertiary colors, is what they're called. So if you mix a green and a blue, you're going to get a blue-green, a blue and a blue-violet, yellow and orange, a yellow-orange. Okay, so that's all on there. The other thing cool about a color wheel, and we've talked a lot about this, I've heard many people pouring talk about this, but they never really explain why. So your complementary colors are where this arrow is here. It says complementary. So those are colors that actually look well together. They're really good together. They actually vibrate when they're next to each other and make it makes your eye look like they're moving. And so those colors would be blue and orange, yellow and violet. They're directly across from each other on the color wheel. So even if you don't have this kind of color wheel, you can always know that those are the complementary colors because they're opposite of each other on the color wheel. All right. And even though those colors look good together, when you mix them, they make a brown or a gray. So that's why sometimes when you do a flip cup and you've got red, blue, and yellow, you end up with some muddy sections in it. Because if you just mix those three together, sometimes they'll make, okay, so red and yellow are going to make an orange, and the orange is next to the blue, and it gets mixed up, and you end up with a gray or a brown. So that's why. So try to stay away from those colors mixing directly together. If you layer them up in your cup with, keep them separate from each other. So if you start off with the blue, then go to the red, and then go to the yellow. If you want to mix a little bit of white in between each one of those, then you really will not get a lot of mud, or any mud, hopefully no mud. So that is what you need to know about basic colors. This is kind of cool on the back here. It has value, and it has what would happen if you added red, yellow, blue, white, and black. So if you just move the color wheel around, it'll tell you if you add red, if you add violet and red, you're going to get red, violet. Okay. Now here's interesting. Here's that mud we're talking about here. And that is from mixing the red, violet, and the yellow. It's going to give you that color. Now, if you're trying to get that color because you don't have it, then mix those two colors and that's what you'll get. Okay. This is interesting here because this tells you what is if you add white to a color or if you add black to a color. If you add blue or if you add red, yellow. So these are your primary colors, and then these are your, let me get that where you can see it, and those are your black and white, adding black and white. Okay. It also has a value scale here from 1 to 10 on a value. And value is the lightness to darkness of your colors. So you're going to start out with black, you're going to go through your grayscale, and then to solid white. All right. And if you are looking, if you're looking for something that you need to add, but you don't know, you want to stay in the darker, okay, then you're going to add more black. If you want to go lighter, you're going to add more white. So just, again, pretty basics. Here's, this one's interesting because I was telling you gray. So this is the orange and blue, and that's what you get is kind of a gray. Okay, and it's kind of a pretty gray. It's a cool blue gray. So you can get some really cool colors by mixing, color mixing. Color mixing is really fun. It can be scary, but you can get a lot of really cool colors. And let's say you have, a red that you want to make it warmer. You want to make it warmer. So you're going to add orange to it. So anything that you have in your cabinet and you say, oh my gosh, I'm out of this color. If you know how to do color mixing, you're never out of that color because you can always make it. All right, so what I have done is I mixed some red and yellow together, and I got this orange. I mixed the blue and yellow. And every blue and every yellow is going to be different. So and then it depends on how much you mix of those blues and yellows as to what color green you're going to get. So this is kind of a more of a bluish green. If I add more yellow, then I'm going to get more of a yellow green or a warmer green. So it just depends on what you're looking for. Okay, and then we're going to mix our purple. So I've got some phthalo blue, and I've got some crimson red. And that's going to give us a pretty purple. The purple's dark because the red and the blue is dark. So I'm going to add a little bit more red to that purple. Okay, that's prettier. So you get a nice plum color there. So those are your secondary colors already mixed up. So now out of 3 colors, you have 6 colors. All right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to mix up some orange and some blue. And I'm going to show you why those two mixed together are not a great idea. Okay, unless you are looking for a really pretty shade of gray. Now, a lot of people would rather mix their gray instead of doing a, out of the tube gray, because look at how pretty that gray is. And that was just, it's more of a warm gray instead of a cool gray. So that was from mixing orange and blue. Now we're going to mix some purple and yellow. So put a little violet in there. Purple, violet, I don't know. I always call it purple, or I usually call it purple. Mix some yellow. And this is going to give you more of a brown. Okay. Pretty grayish brown. So if you're looking for tree bark, there you go. And then, oh, I'm going to get into that in a minute. I'm going to get into lightening and darkening in a minute. And then let's mix some red and green and see what we get here. And again, every red and green together is going to give you a different gray or brown. Just depends on what you're looking for. Okay, and this is the red and green. So you can see that one is even warmer because it has that yellow in it. So all very pretty colors. And you can, like I said, whatever colors you are trying to get, you can use the basics of what I just showed you to get those colors. So if you want an orange that's more of a red orange, then you just add more red. If you want a green that's more turquoise, then just add more blue. So pretty basic. Now I'm going to show you value. So value is going to be your light to dark. I'm just going to squirt out some white and some black. Okay. So if you want to darken something, let's say you want this brown to be darker. Okay, then you're just going to take some black and you're going to add until you get what you're looking for, but it doesn't take long. So just add a little bit at a time until you get the color you're looking for. Okay, so that was the red and the green together. Okay, and now you've got almost a dark brownish gray. Okay. And then if you want to, let's take one of the other grays I mixed. This was the yellow and purple, which was more gray. And let's say you want to lighten that color up. So just add some white to that. Okay, and that's going to give you the lighter. So adding white to any color is going to give you a pastel or a lighter version of it. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grays here, or 6 grays here, out of 3 colors, red, blue, yellow. That's all we started out with. If you wanted to, let's say, darken up this green, first of all, let's add a little bit of blue to it, just a touch. Okay, and then you're going to add a little bit of black. I always put too much black in. You use your black very sparingly. Okay, so you get a darker green there from adding your black. if you wanted to, let's say you want to tone a blue down. Your blue is too vibrant and you just want it to be less bright. So what is the complementary color of blue is orange. So if you want to tone that blue down just a little bit so it's not quite so blue, you're just going to take some orange, a little bit, and mix it in with your blue. You're still going to have blue, but it's going to be a toned down blue, like a gray blue. And that works with any of your colors. So keeping your complementary colors in mind, if you want to tone anything down, you're just going to mix it with the complementary color, just a little bit of it. Let me do another one. We'll do a red. Okay, the red is too red. You want it to be more of an earthy red. So you're going to add some green to it. A little bit of green. This also makes the colors darker, usually. Okay, so you can see, hopefully you can see, oh, did I mix all that blue and you guys didn't see that? Sorry. Okay, so that was the blue with the orange. Hopefully you did see that. And then this is the red with just a little bit of green. And you can see the difference between the bright red and now the brick red. It's more of a warmer red and toned down, not quite so bright. Okay? Hopefully that all makes sense to you. Again, if you wanted to make that color even darker, you can just add a little bit of black. And now you've got a deeper red. If you want a burgundy, just add a little bit of purple. Again, if your purple is dark, it's going to make your burgundy darker. Okay, so there's a nice, pretty burgundy color. So pretty simple. I've been doing this for a long time, so it makes perfect sense to me. But I do recommend getting the color wheel because that just makes it so much nicer. You know, if you don't know what you need to do to get that color, then you've always had the color wheel to fall back on, and it will help you make your mind, you know, help make you make decisions easier for you as far as mixing colors. Oh, that color almost looks like a brownish red now. Yeah. So there you go. I recommend. I had a watercolor teacher. When I took watercolor classes, I took for about 4 years, and she would only let us buy at the beginning 1 tube of green. And we had a color mixing exercise, which I always tell people when they're learning to paint, try to do that because it is so interesting how many different shades of green you can get out of 1 tube of phthalo green. You know, adding black, adding white, adding blue, adding yellow, adding red. You can get thousands of colors of green. And that's what she challenged us to do, was to mix as many greens as we could and have a green chart. And that's another thing too. When you're doing color mixing, you're sitting down to color mix, make a chart, you know, because you'll know then how did I get that color? I really like that blue I just mixed. How do I get that again? And you know, you can mix your colors, your pour colors, right into a cup together and mix them. So if you don't have a turquoise, just mix a blue and a yellow, and a blue and a green to get your turquoise. So you have thousands of color, you know, choices. If you have 20 colors in your arsenal, then you have thousands of colors you can mix. It's really great to have that basic information. And that's why I shared this with you today, because so many people want to know how to get pretty paintings and how to keep them from just looking like a mess, looking like they're all brown and gray. The other thing on the color wheel that I don't know if I shared with you, the colors next to each other on the color wheel, these, like if they're next to each other, pick 3 or 4. Those are going to be harmonious colors. They're called analogous. And those are going to give you always a nice painting. You're never going to, you know, mix your red, orange, red, red, violet. You can put all those together and with your black and your white, and you're going to get a great painting every time. So, because they're harmonious, they look great together. They're always going to work well together. So another reason to keep your color wheel around. And you've got your warm colors on this side and your hot colors on this, warm and cool. So you always know which direction you need to go in. It just makes it so easy to use one of these color wheels and make a bunch of really great colors if you want to, or just know how to get a painting that's not going to look like mud. So hope you guys enjoyed the video this week. Sorry it wasn't a pouring video, but I've been wanting to do color theory just to give you guys some basics, and I'll be doing that every once in a while. So that's it for today. I hope you liked it. Share and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and like or push the little bell down there, and you'll get notifications when I upload a new video. And I will be back next Tuesday. We're at about 180 subscribers, so still trying to get up to that 250 where I'll do a subscriber giveaway for you guys. And I also thought it would be nice for you guys to see my face today, because usually you only get to see my hands. Oh, aren't they pretty? So anyhow, yeah, I will see you guys next week. Take care, have a great week, and I'll see you later.